Kalispera σας, καλώς ορίσατε στο A to the P show με εμένα τον Stefano, and we've got a guest today, Stel from No Choftees. We're going to discuss, obviously, about yesterday's game. I was hoping Petro will come on, so we'll have like another person's opinion on the game, but maybe he'll join us when he's available. But yeah, we appreciate you still coming on, and if you're new to our channel, subscribe, like, share, and also believe. But that's just a joke. But yeah, how are we doing, boys?
Fine, very well, very well. I'm
Yeah.
good. Not gonna lie. Liverpool won. Omonoia won. You know, weekend hasn't been ruined or whatever, but yeah, we're gonna go into it later on.
Okay. Go on, Stel. You're the guest. Let's let you say what you have to say.
I'm still fuming about yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm still fuming. And people are going to think I'm crazy, but I've got standards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm fuming. I'm just, what's the word when you're not angry anymore? You just kind of accept it that it's the way it is. Because since I've only came back last year, nearly been 2 years in Cyprus. I've seen the same. And when I started watching your show, Stel, it's been the same for a long, long time now with Omonoia. I don't know. Like, one question I was thinking when I was working earlier, I was thinking one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I think I might know yours, Stel, but I don't know about you there, Stefano. Of all the managers we've sacked since Berg, forget Berg as well because he won us the league, but he kind of boiled off at the end. Who would you have kept and given more of an opportunity?
Well, that's a tough question. To be fair, I was thinking about this. I was thinking even Berg's time here at the club towards the end, it was just getting stale, predictable, boring, and it just reminded me like the Brauskas, Pushi and Mones. Κάνουν τα ίδια πράγματα, δεν ξέρω εγώ. Αλλά το ένα πράγμα που μπορώ να πω για τον Berg ότι έχει credit in the bank. Ασχέτως αν έμεινε εκτός εξάδας, εντάξει, it was terrible. Not even years where we were like economical problem. Hello, Giancarlo. Oh, boys, is there anyone that wants to go to slap everyone
Oh, sorry.
at Pullos for yesterday's first half? What the fuck did they even do in 2 weeks break? I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. There should be someone that holds them accountable at the club. Someone just goes to the dressing rooms and just tells them, what the fuck is this? You should be performing. That the standards and the expectations should be up there. And this shouldn't be acceptable. And not everyone should get shocked that we're booing the team at halftime. It's normal. We're a big club. This is something I've been waiting from the fans to react in this sort of way because it's been going on for years, and I'm like, all right, good. Maybe some of them are just starting to wake up. I don't know, maybe so. Just the whole thing. I think another thing with we're not there yet. We're not there yet. To compete or anything. Το σκαλό είναι όσαμε. Τρίτο τέταρτος. Ως τσαμέν το σκαλό. And it just stems from everything. Like I said this yesterday, it could be players, it could be the manager, it could be mentality. This thing is well, Giancarlo said, plays a role because someone should be holding them accountable at the end of the day. Not just for yesterday, but for many games this season.
Είπες προπονητή, ποιος ήταν να βγεις μέσα? Berg. Oh, okay. See, I'm going to guess Stel's because I know that he's done videos about it, and it's actually quite surprising how good the football was. But I'm guessing it was Yannick Ferreira you would have given more of an opportunity.
It's difficult to say because with Berg, as Stefano said, it became very, very predictable how we were playing. But did they really back him? Because I want to go back to that summer, the summer we won the league, and we brought in Mix, we brought Bashiru, we brought Psati, we brought Zahario.
Yeah.
Who else came in? That was it, I think, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken. I think Yuste came in as well, didn't he? Yuste came in.
Was Yuste, Bashiru, Mix, Zahario,
Psati and
Psati.
Zaha. Right? So it wasn't a summer where we brought in players to better us, with the exception of probably Bash, and you could argue Mix and Yuste. The rest still flattered to deceive. Then came January, and we were crying out for signings, crying out for signings, and they left it until the last few days of the window to bring in Tim Matavs and Lovera. And I remember Henning Berg went on Omonoia TV, or was it OFC TV or whatever it was, and he said, "Well, it's up."
Να μου το αλλούν, δείχνει τηλεόραση.
Total Green. Or whatever it was. Whatever it was. And he's gone on the telly and he said, this club will back me if I need players. And that got me thinking, like, we were really struggling at the time. Did you not need players? But then Andrea Dimitriou came out, well, a couple of weeks later, or was it before? I can't remember if it was before or after. I need to remember the timeline. But Andrea came out and said, if the manager wants players, he just needs to tell us. Now, that is the media machine working on overdrive, because you're going to get people believing that Henning Berg didn't think that we needed players urgently. And don't forget, it's not as if we didn't sign players. We did, but they were literally at the end of the window. If we'd have signed them at the beginning of the window, I'd have thought, okay, he wanted them. But the fact that we waited and waited and waited until the end of the window, it was too late. So he goes. Lennon comes in, right? Crest of a wave, Lennon. Utter crest of the wave. I mean, we drew our first 3 games, didn't we? It was Loxa, Isle in the cup. We went through on away goals. We beat Bayek, and then we won the cup. And great. You know, that summer they brought in players like Bruno, Militic, they brought Matthews, Barker, Ketalipa, right? And you're thinking, all right, it's a decent squad, but you got a coach here that's won a lot of things, right? At a very good level, and he's got some results in Europe. And the season started shit. We lost the Super Cup against Apollona. We lost Grida in the first game. Kasama got sent off on his debut. We lost to, was it Sheriff? We lost to Sociedad. And then we won a couple games. Then it was United, lost. Isle, lost. United, lost. And then Salamina, which that was a clusterfuck in itself.
That was it. Salamina, that was it. That was his last game.
Salamina, Salamina, do you remember it? We played the first half and it was pissing it down. And then they played the rest of the game the next day, right? And his position was untenable after that, because you lose 4 games on the bounce. That's it for you. And then you're hearing these stories about his behavior, which again, they're unfounded. No one really knows what really happened, right? So then he goes. They bring in Yannick, right? And I'm doing a chronological thing here because I'm trying to answer your question here. Yannick comes in. He loses his first game against Sociedad, which we played good football. We beat Anorthosi. We lost to Sheriff away, which we were quite unlucky. We drew against Ari, which we were unlucky. We battered Olympiaco. Then we lost to Apollona. And that is when it all started. Because even though he was on hiding to nothing when he first came, people were saying, shit CV, blah, blah, blah. But then we lost to Apollona and the manner in which he lost. But we won our next 3 on the bounce.
Ήταν με άρθρωση το τελευταίο του.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there, bro. I'm getting there. Right? So, like, we won our next 3. Then we lost to Ike away, which we played really well. After that, we won 5 on the bounce. I think it was 4 or 5 on the bounce. We lost to Salamina, which we should have won. You know, if Uzoha's hands weren't made out of poppadoms, we'd have been all right. We drew against Buffer, and then we lost Sanorthos, and that was it. Gone. Right? Now, bearing in mind that the squad that we had, he inherited. Right? He inherited. And in the January, when we needed players, what happened? Halfway through the window, they signed Tajuri Shradi, who had just... Perimene, right? But hold your horses. We signed Tajuri Shradi halfway through the January window when the guy hadn't played in 4 or 5 months. Yeah? And then we signed Besedin at the end of the window, right? At the end of the window, right? A guy that hadn't scored in like a year and a half. He'd just come back from a cruciate. And the only reason why we signed him is because all the options that Yannick had in front of him, he was the best of the bad bunch. Yes, Pedro. Right? So they've gone through that. Then they brought in Avgusti. And we saw what happened there. He won the cup and everyone was happy. Jesper Jansen comes in, makes the signings, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens with Sofroni? What happened with Sofroni? He went on a really good run at the start of the season. We lost Hanrothosi. Then we went on a decent run of like 4 games, 4 or 5 wins on the trot. We lost to Abuel. Then we beat IL and we lost to Ari, and that was it for him. Done. Then they brought in Rekdal. Yeah? Jebale, this is a continuation of the Sacalamares, Choftes that have been happening at this club. Yeah? They sign Rekdal, they bring him in. He wants a right back, they sign a left back. That's the first thing. Right? He wants a striker, they sign Stepinski. He didn't even know that Bakic was coming. Even Jesper Jansen didn't know that Bakic was coming. Bakic turns up at fucking the training ground. They're like, what the fuck is this? He can't play. They were telling him that he could. Listen, it's all on the fucking Patreon interview that I did.
Yeah, no.
He even said it. He goes, I was telling him I'm going to play Milicic at right back. Yeah, they go, no, you can't play him there. Why? I'm going to play Franson right wing because we haven't got any right wingers. No, you can't play there. So
6.
All of these sackings, right? There hasn't been any rhyme nor reason if you want to talk about the bigger picture. Yes, you could say results weren't great for Yannick, even though he only lost like 5 games in 14. You could say that results weren't great with Sofroni, the back end of his time at the club, and the football was a little bit shit. Yeah? You could say with Berg, the football was shit, but really and truly, out of all of these coaches, right, which ones can you safely say they back them 100%? Not only in the transfer market, but when the shit hit the fan, they said, right, we're going to stick to our guns. We're going to ignore all the higgy-hag on social media. This is our guy. We're going to back him, irrespective of what the fans say. Which one can you safely say they gave time and time and time? They gave chance after chance after chance, and he let them down. None of them. No. Because the first moment of panic, push that red button, that self-destruct button, and you're starting again. That's exactly what they've done. Now, rightly or wrongly, whoever they sacked, rightly or wrongly, right? The one that I would have stuck with, right, is the guy that I saw the most progress, yeah, given the circumstances, and looking at the statistics and how we played, you're going to laugh. I'd have stuck with Rekdal. I'd have stuck with him. And I'll tell you why. He had 6 weeks. He had 6 weeks at the club. Right? They were signing players he didn't even know about. They were telling him he couldn't select certain players. The football that we were playing the first 2 or 3 games was absolutely brilliant. And let me go back to the statistics when it comes to goals from set pieces. He's got the best record out of all the 4 managers that we've had. If you want to talk about Avgusti, Anastasio, this current guy, and Rekdal, he was the best one when it comes to the corner kick to goals ratio.
Yeah, I remember.
And don't forget, as I mentioned before, they were telling him he couldn't select certain players, or he shouldn't be selecting certain players. They were signing players under his nose. They were selling players under his nose. So out of all of those...
No, και έφαν την Gino στο τέλος, επειδή κάποιοι κι άλλοι ανεντεκάδες και έκαναν ό,τι ήθελα. Πίσω από η Ράσιν. Και έφυγε το κορόιδον Ginos στο τέλος της ημέρας. Και το ρέκτα λεγγαμνή, ο Ράκναρ, τον αντάλλον και ξέρω εγώ να πουλαλούσαν, ότι ελίος.
Bro, he had 9 games in charge. Yeah.
Και φύγε μετά που ήρθα.
He had 9 games in charge. Right? I mean...
Sorry, μετά που νίκη. Ο Φανταστής φύγε μετά που νίκη.
Okay, his last game was Othello, we won 1-0. The game before was Ethnigol, where we were 2-0 up and they blew it. The game before we beat Anorthosis. The game before we beat Apollona. It was 5 games before he got sacked, our last loss. And now as at Ajax, when he had to go 3 at the back, because, hey, he didn't have fucking wingers, so he had to go with wing backs. He had to play Lessex at left wing against Apollona. Yeah, Semedo was in international duty. Simic was injured. Alium was injured. Loiza was at Hereven. Zahariu, like, I don't know. Maybe they were telling him that he couldn't play. I don't know. So out of all the coaches that we've had, right, he was the one with the most constraints. When you deep it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not just saying this because I know him. I'm just saying, like, because when you look at the facts, yeah, Sofroni had the longest tenure out of those. Well, if you take Berg out of the equation, the ones that we mentioned, Lennon, he was the one with the longest tenure. And the only reason why he had the longest tenure is because he's Cypriot and he knows the league. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Just to go back to this comment, coach-wise, I would have brought back Milovic that Bolognese and them lot brought. I liked him first since his first stint won the cup. That Omonoia technical fucked him in the 2016 something.
Fammi dire un pezzo τον που λέει ο Τζανκάλο έκαναν το comment του τον το θεμάν με un πέτρο πότε ήταν. Με το παιχνίδι με είναι αράι που πουλάδωσαν για ο Μιλόβιτς και ξέρω εγώ και να στον εφάν και εκείνο.
Bessidin, a standing tree, and all things that Rectal said, you don't see any similarity to what is happening now with Vartas and Guso. I'm quite sure they are forcing him to play him. Okay. Petro, because en emlisăm εχθές, πέμας να μπορεί να νομίζεις, επίες εχθές, είδες το match?
No, δεν μπορούσα να πω.
Better off. Πέμας να μπορεί να νομίζεις, because we haven't heard your opinion yet.
About yesterday's game?
Yeah, about everything there. About the game.
Not surprised. Εντάξει. Μια νίκη δύσκολη. Άσχετο αν είναι 3-1. Πρώτο ημίχρονο δεν υπήρχε Ομόνοια στο γήπεδο. For me, δεν υπήρχε Ομόνοια στο γήπεδο. Έχουμε πρόβλημα, είπαμε το πολλές φορές, στις στατικές φάσεις. Όχι μόνο που κάνουμε, και που μας κάνουν. Γιατί κάθε κόρνε, 10 κόρνε από Απολλώνας. 9, 10, ένα φίλο.
9, κάτι έτσι, ναι.
Ήταν όλα τα κόρνε φως και τρόμος. Happy every corner. Δεν μπορούμε να πιάμε μια κεφαλιά. Δεν μπορούμε να φτιάξουμε μια μάπα. Δεν μπορούμε. Όχι μόνο να πιάμε κεφαλιά όταν κερδούμε κόρνερ, ούτε να πιάμε κεφαλιά που είναι εναντίον μας τα κόρνερ. Δεν μπορούμε να φτιάξουμε, ρε. Δεν μπορούμε. Δεν μπορούμε να πεταχτούν. Δεν ξέρω. Πώς βάλουμε τραμπελίν για να πετάσουν λίγο πιο ψηλά. Ναι, δεν πετάσουν. Δεν κάνουν κέντρε. Είμαστε και κοντοί, ρε. Είμαστε και κοντή ομάδα. Εκτός το κουλιμπάλι, είπα το πολλές φορές, ο Στέλα να θυμάσαι. We are too short. We are too short. Except κουλιμπάλι, we are too short, ναι.
Και ο Λάντερ.
Ο Λάντερ να παίξει, να ξέρω.
Ναι.
Κάτι τόσο, ναι. Ο Παναγιώτου είναι και ψηλό παιδί. Οι παίκτες του κέντρου, ο πεθυτικός μας.
Yeah, that's fine, Giancarlo. That's fine. you know, we were saying yesterday, ήταν νίκη και ακόμα είμαστε μουτρωμένοι. Δεν μας, you know, we weren't happy, you know.
Εν ήταν νίκη που έπεισε κανέναν. Δηλαδή, ήμασταν και τυχεροί. Σε δύο-τρεις περιπτώσεις έβαλαν δύο τέρματα που μια έφυγε offside, μια ήταν έφυγε έξω. Δηλαδή, details που λέμε λεπτομέρειες ότι αν μέτρα ένα από τα δυο, τα πράγματα είναι πολλά διαφορετικά. Εγώ νομίζω ότι αν προείδων ο Απόλλωνας στον γκολ το πρώτο που ήταν offside, ήταν να το γυρίσουμε. Δεν νομίζω και τούτο που παραξενεύουμε ότι παίχτες έχουμε καλούς. Είναι ένα σημείο παίχτη μας. Απλώς κάπου δεν έχουμε την ομάδα. Δεν έχουμε ομάδα. Παίχτες έχουμε ομάδα, δεν έχουμε. Και οι γραμμές μας για μένα είναι πολλά μακριά. Γιατί ειδικά το κέντρο δεν ξέρω που είναι. Είχα πολλές φορές που ήταν έξω περιοχή μας ο Απόλλωνας για να κάνει shoot και οι κόφτες μας που ήταν ο Κούσουλος και ο Μάριτς, αντί να ήταν πιο μπροστά από τους στόπερ, ήταν μια γραμμή με τους στόπερ. Και δεν έρχονταν πιο έξω. Δεν ξέρουν τα οδηγίες, δεν ξέρουν τα που σκέφτονται, αλλά εγώ δεν βλέπω θετικά από την ομάδα φέτος. Δεν βλέπω θετικά. Εγώ είπα τέταρτη ή πέμπτη, εγώ έτσι το βλέπω. Κέρδισε το παιχνίδι με την Πάφο και το Αποέλ. Όπως είπαν και ο Στέλ χτες, αν πιάμε 2 points, να είμαστε happy.
Επιτυχία.
Είναι
επιτυχία.
Είσαι πελό ρε. Να ψω φωτοβολίες εγώ. Και ο πόντος με... Πριν έρχεται το Ομόνοια Απόλλωνας, έβλεπα και το Αποέλ και η Πάφο. Με τόσες απουσίες που είχε το Αποέλ, μπορούσε και να δέρει. Ήταν 50-50 το παιχνίδι.
Ναι, μπορούσε να είναι.
Ναι, μπορούσε να δέρει. Ήταν πίσω στο σκορ. Εμείς αν βρεθούμε πίσω στο σκορ που την Πάφο, άτε, switch off the TV, τέλειωσε το παιχνίδι, bye-bye. Next week. Ναι, γιατί πιστεύει κανένας σας ότι αν προηθεί η Πάφος να το γυρίσουμε. Να βάλουμε το μετά πώς θα να πάμε. Ναι ρε φίλε. Αφού εμπίθη η ομάδα. Εμπίθη. Γνώμη δική μου ρε φίλε, ότι το στυπείς και δεν μπορώ το χώρο πιο. Δεν μπορώ. Δεν μπορεί να σταματήσει τη μάπα, δεν μπορεί να κάνει κοτρόλ, δεν μπορεί να παίξει μεράζι. Εντάξει, μέσα στην περιοχή, άτε που τα 5 ευκαιρίες θα βάλει το έναν, άτε, τουλάχιστον. Αλλά αφού βγαίνεις πόξουν περιοχή, πρέπει να ξέρεις και να κοντρολάρεις τη μάπα και να πασάρεις και να μοιράζεις παιχνίδι. Αν δεν το έχεις, δεν ευκαιρείς πόξουν, μείνει και με κλουβάτσις.
Ναι, ναι, ακριβώς.
Το βλέπω, έτσι το λέω. Να. Μπορεί να
I don't know if you saw it from the beginning. We were asking this question: which coach you would have given more opportunity? Pedro, what do you think? Out of all these coaches we were talking about.
Που τον Berg και μετά.
Εντάξει, τον Berg, it's a little bit hard to judge because he did win us the league. Αλλά εντάξει, you can probably say Berg as well, Antelis, from after.
Που το στο Φρόνι.
Είχαμε τον Lennon.
Lennon.
Τον Rectal.
Και τον
Pereira,
ναι.
Αναστασίου μετρά.
You can count him if you want, but he already knew what his job was going to be anyways. There's no much point of saying anything. Yeah.
Εγώ να πω το Rectal επειδή αδικήσαν τον πολλά. Αδικήσαν τον πολλά και είδα το pot του Στέλ με το Rectal. Που του λαλούσαν ποιους παίχτες να βάλει, όχι να με βάλει τον Μίλιτιτς, όχι. Μα πώς θες τα ποθέ να του πεις εσύ ρε, του προπονητή ποιον να βάλει ρε. Προπονητής που έπαιξε μεγάλη μαπά στην καριέρα, του έπαιξε σε μεγάλες ομάδες. Προπόνησε ομάδες καλές, ήρθες εσύ να πεις ποιον να παίξει ρε. εντάξει, δεν είχε παίχτες, να πούμε την αλήθεια, αλλά τότε να δίνουν δεύτερη ευκαιρία, όχι πάει δεύτερη ευκαιρία, chance του Ρέκταλ παραπάνω. For me.
I don't know. Like, I understand your stood πολλά για τον Rectal, αλλά για μένα, because he was a young manager, I feel like Don Ferreira, because I always believe when a young manager is hungry, μπορεί να αλλάξει κάτι, αλλά they didn't really give him a chance either. So for me, probably Ferreira before Don Rectal.
Bro, the football we were playing with Yannick was top class.
That's what I mean.
No one was paying attention to it because they were too focused on that one loss against Upwell. Yeah. Now, you know, he would definitely be my second choice. The reason why I chose Rekdal over him is because at least you knew with Rekdal he had a stronger, not CV, but he had more experience at a higher level, right? This is a guy that played at World Cups. He scored against Brazil, France 98. You're not a mug, right? Now, I know that great players don't necessarily make great coaches, but he's won trophies wherever he's gone. And if you look at him now, he took charge of a Norwegian third division team. They were in the relegation zone when he took charge. They finished the season mid-table. So, like, you had a guy there. It was all there, but the reason why, there's two reasons. Number one, because you replaced Sofroni, right? And you don't replace Sofroni. And number two, because people thought he was Jansen's guy. But even he said so on the pod. I didn't actually even know Jansen. I didn't know him. we didn't know him. They didn't know each other.
I thought you knew him.
Good
I thought you did because of the Scandinavian connection or whatever, like, he brought him in.
They didn't know each other personally. They knew of him. They knew of each other, but they didn't know him personally. This is what I'm saying. All these little things that people were coming up with. Oh, this is mate and this and that. It's like, I didn't know him. Like, I knew of him, but we'd never talked before. Okay, I'm going to take his word as gospel, because why would he lie about something like that? Yeah. But again, when you hear the other things that happen, then normally I'd be surprised. But I know they did Yannick dirty, they did Berg dirty, they did Sofroni dirty. They did all of them dirty. All of them.
No.
And do you know what? I'm hoping that my assumption that a certain vice president was to blame for a lot of this. I hope my assumption is correct. I hope it's correct. Because now he's gone. We're going to find out who really was making these decisions.
I do believe he played a part, to be honest.
Φίλε, εγώ νομίζω να παίξει και τόσο πολύ ρόλο, γιατί τα παιχνίδια που έχασαν η Ομόνοια, οι ισοπαλίες, οι ήττες, άσχετο που τα συστήματα ήταν τα λόγια, ήταν από ατομικά λάθη που χάναμε παιχνίδια. Ή με τον εθνικό που είπε, we were too new up, και κάναμε στο 2-2, δηλαδή ένα λάθος του Φάβη που ήταν ή το άλλο, ήταν παραπάνω ατομικά λάθη που χάναμε πόντους ή χάναμε παιχνίδια, άσχετο τρόπο που παίζαμε, άσχετο. Χάναμε από ατομικά λάθη, ναι μεν έκαμε κάποιες αποφάσεις ο Γλιώρης που επηρεάζει την ομάδα, αλλά τους πόντους που έχανε και εκείνους που έπαιζαν μάπα. Είναι οι παίκτες που έκαναν τις μαλακίες και χάναν τις μάπες ή έκαναν λάθος outside ή I don't know whatever.
Ναι, κατάλαβα ρε, αλλά my argument is, εντάξει, παράδειγμα, you go to work and the manager's assistant is there all the time, και τούτος, you know that Nagadoni, he's got his own opinions, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to really be motivated. Now, I'm not saying the players were like that, but what I'm saying is, if εγώ, living in England, talking to the people that I speak to, not at Omonoia, but all over Europe that have either worked with Omonoia or have done business with Omonoia, and more often than not, people tell me, this guy, you need to be careful about him. You need to be careful. So can you imagine the people that are at the club that are talking to him. Now, people tell me that he's been a nice person to them and he's been very professional and it bothered him when the team lost. But, you know, when I hear stories that Omonoia were looking for a head coach a few weeks ago, and now those stories seem to go when that person has gone, it makes you wonder who was actually chasing around for a new head coach.
Nervira, I don't disagree with nothing that you said. I'm just saying that some points, some games that we loses, it was the players' fault. Some. I'm not
saying Jeb says we won the game, but Brodo Mikrono, it was shit.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And that was on them. It was on them. And Leidan Baston Probonidi as well.
No,
don't get me started on him, Dora. Don't get me started on him.
No, let's start well. Yeah. The only manager that we've talked about all these managers going and get it done by 30. This is the only guy that could go now, at any point now, that wasn't anyone's fault except him. He is the only one who takes all the blame for me. I don't think it's going to get done dirty by anyone or Papastavro or anyone who sucks him. This is the only guy that could go now. It's going to be his fault. And like you said, I think after the pod, or during the pod yesterday, he's going to get himself sacked. He doesn't fix up.
Bro, let me show you something. Let me put it on the screen. Yeah, I got a spreadsheet. Yeah, of all the team lineups so far this season. I'm anal about it because I'm using this for my analysis videos. Trust me, yeah? It makes sense. Yeah, right. That is, Tom. If you want to bring it up there. Right.
Yep.
Those are the lineups of every game this season. Yeah. Look at the same. Can I zoom in? How do I zoom in?
Let me just draw.
Hang on, I've done it.
Oh, you done it?
Okay.
Okay, Ed.
Can you see it?
So those are the team lineups. Yeah. Fabi's played every game.
Yep.
Yeah, Dionku started most of the games. Hamas has started most of the games. Look at Koulibaly, how many games he played before he got injured. Look how many games.
Jesus.
Pana, look how many games. Yeah, when he got injured, then he came off because he got a muscular injury. Erakovic, Maric. Look how many games Maric has played. I think he's only missed one league game. Simic, how many games he's played? So, anyway, I'll stop it right there. So, you get the gist. Yeah? There is a squad there for two. I said this yesterday. There's a squad with 2 players for each position minimum. And when you're playing. Bravo. So, when you're playing Baralimni, where you know most of the time the ball's going to be in their half. Why aren't you going with Lang and Helander? Give Pana a bit of a break. Give Koulibaly a bit of a break. Why'd you wait a month and a half to play Gitso? Why you wait 3 months to play Musialowski? You know, even Zion, who I can't fucking stand, right, has hardly played. No surprise, because we signed it with a bum knee. His knee's fucked. Absolutely fucked. Whatever else. His knee's fucked. His knee is fucked. Yeah? We wanted a centre forward because we don't have a goal scorer. All right, people talk to me about Stepinski. All right, he scored 4 goals in 2 games. Dora, but before Omonoia Radipo, he only scored 2 goals all season. And that was in 1 game against Salamina. And they were dead on their knees at 70 minutes with cramp. So, again, as you're right, Stefano. If he goes, it's on him. Because he's been given the tools there. The players are there. So what is it that it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
I don't have an issue with the programmism. I think we've done well, like in terms of recruiting. And the backing. For the manager, it's been good. Now is how he utilizes his squad and how he uses his squad and how he plays with this squad.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been satisfying and it hasn't been good so far. Maybe
Let me
those
explain
games.
something to you. Let me explain something to you, yeah? And this is a conversation I was having with people in the Discord today, right? People I was talking to in the Discord today, and I was messaging other people as well that follow Omonoia, right? About Humber, right? Humber got a lot of shit last night for his performance, and rightly so, because it wasn't great, yeah? But there's one thing that people need to realize, right? The lad is effectively in the team as at Degari because he runs more than anyone else in that team, right? I'm not putting Gaguli in that because he was on the bench. In that 11 that was on the pitch yesterday, he runs more than all of them. There were times where he was pressing for no reason. Why? Because the furthest man forward, the striker, didn't want to do it or couldn't do it. Wasn't quick enough to do it. There was one stage where the lad was on the edge of their box and he's tracked all the way back to left back to support Hamas. Where's the left winger? Where's the central midfielders doing that job? Why is Humber at 23, 24 years old, right, as a number 10, doing the donkey work? Why? Put him as a fucking Gofti then. Give him that role then, if that's what you want him to do. But that's on the coach. Now, you could say perhaps the boy is a little bit, over eager. Maybe he doesn't listen to instructions. Maybe. But you're a number 10. You shouldn't be in a left back area unless you got 10 men behind the ball and you're helping out. Why is it that Apollona hitting us on the counter attack and Humber is tracking back to cover a left winger? Why? So Andiz put in Evandro, that is a number 10, right? Or Musilovski, or even Bezos, because people want Bezos as the 10. He goes with Humber because Humber's the only one that's going to cover every fucking blade of grass, and he's going to get shit. And it's no surprise it's no surprise that he's missing chances, right? He's fucking blowing out of his ass by the time he gets in the box. But he probably runs about 7 kilometers a game.
We have 4 number 10s in the team. 4 number 10s. There's Zeus, Jovetic, Mushalovsky, and Evandro. And we play Humber that his position is number 8. He's going to get tired. He's going to get tired.
Έπαιξε 2 φορές για την εθνική as well, μην ξεχνάς.
He went to Romania. He came back to Cyprus after 2 games. He played yesterday.
How many training sessions? How many training sessions between the last session before he left for international duty to the end of international duty? Because I'm pretty certain that Sofroni was training them. Yeah?
Yeah.
In Romania before the Lithuania game. But those are Proboni Dismas. Does he not think, this Mitsi, right? He's going to get burnt out by fucking December. No. We're going to play him against fucking Apollona. Why did he pick Hamas? Because Gitso had a good game against, what's it called? Against Managerial. Right?
Yeah. One of our best
players. Game? Or is he doing this thing, Bale, where when we're on the ball, he wants three central defenders, one of them being Hamas to cover on the left-hand side? What is this? When the ball's on the right-hand side, you go with 3 at the back so the right back can push further forward. And then the right winger is just going to spin off, which is what he does the whole time. It's a predictable system. I see it. The moment I see that 11, I know exactly who's going to play where, what they're going to do. And if I can see it, pretty certain the opponent's analysts can see it as well.
We're not depending as a team. Εμείς εξαρτώμαστε από ατομικά, να παίζουν ατομικά κάποιοι παίχτες για να μπορούμε να κάνουμε κάτι καλό. Δεν παίζουμε, ας πούμε, ομαδικό ποδόσφαιρο για να βάλουμε γκολ. Παραπάνω είναι ατομικά, να κάνει μια τρίπλα ο ένας, μια τρίπλα ο άλλος, μια μπάσα έτσι. Είναι τόσο ομαδικό το ποδόσφαιρο που παίζει η Ομόνοια.
Petro, this is the other thing that people don't realize. Ep says he had Maric and Gusola. When you have Maric, Arakovic, and Humber, you have more options in the middle. Yeah? Αλλά αν βάλεις τον Hambo as a δεκάρι to do the running that he does, you've got a space open in front of your two central midfielders because there's no one occupying that space because your Stepinski ain't going to drop deep much. Yeah? So what happens? Your two central midfielders either have to go forward or they have to stay to protect the two defenders, the two centre-backs, pisodus, right? But what was happening yesterday is that the ball was going wide most of the time and there wasn't anyone tracking the wing-backs. So the two holding midfielders were like, well, where do we go? Where do we go? Well, let's go and support on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And you're leaving a dribba for Cole and whoever was a Ceci D'Almeida, whoever, or what's his name? Weisbeck, to shoot on sight. To shoot on sight. So Bale, this Probonidi he only knows how to play one way. And this is why I'm getting annoyed, Donna. Because before we got him, people were saying, he plays three at the back and he does this and he does that and he changes his system and blah, 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 blah. Well, when are we going to see this variation? When are we going to see us not just playing to our strengths, but to our opponent's strengths? Because right now it just seems we're just going to do us and worry about what they do. No, bro, that's not how it works.
Σε μια φάση χτες θυμούμε, νομίζω ήταν the beginning of the game that Alium took the ball στα αριστερά. There were three players around him και δεν είχε κανέναν παίκτη κοντά του να μπορεί να πασάρει. No one. Yeah, they closed him, but he had time. Σταμάτησε τη μάπα και έβλεπε και δεν είχε κανέναν να πασάρει. Δεν του έδειξε κανένας.
Μα τούτο εκτές τούτο, στις αντιπιθέσεις που φτιάνναμε, ρε φίλε, κάνουμε 10 ώρες να κάνουμε μια αντιπιθέση.
Αφού είναι στις επιλογές.
Εν ευκαιναν ούτε παίκτες και σκούνταν γλύωροι οι παίκτες στο Αποllona. Ήταν πιο γλύωροι οι παίκτες στο Αποllona να πάμε πίσω στην άμυνα παρά εμείς να βάλουμε τέρμα.
Ρε φίλε, όταν οι γραμμές σου είναι μια μακριά από την άλλη, δεν είναι κοντά ούλοι και συνάμενοι, θα έχεις επιλογές. Είναι σου. Είναι
πλό. Το παίκτες σκέπτουν μπροστά. Το πιο πολύ.
Εμείς θέλουμε να παίζουμε το παιχνίδι αντεπιθέσεων. Ναι, εντάξει, δεν έχουμε το. Αλλά με το Στεπίσκι δεν μπορεί να παίξεις παιχνίδι αντεπιθέσεων. Είναι αργός. Με το Χάμπο δεν μπορείς να παίξεις το παιχνίδι αντεπιθέσεων, γιατί δεν είναι δεκάρι να σου βγάλει την κάθετη που να σου βγάλει ο Ιωβετίτς, ο Ευάντρο ή ο Μπεζούς ή ποιος να είναι. Αν θέλεις να παίζεις με το Στεπίσκι, πρέπει να παίζεις αντεπιθέσεις. Πρέπει να είσαι και αμέ κοντά, να πιέζεις τέλεια ψηλά. Να μαρκάρεις ο κανένας τον παίχτη του man to man που λέμε. Για να κάνουν το λάθος και να είσαστε ούλοι και αμέ. Δεν ξέρω. Άρα ναι. Μπορεί να μην καταλάβω, αλλά έτσι το βλέπω. Δεν ξέρω. Δεν μπορεί να παίξεις αντεπιθέσεις με Χάμπο οχτάρι και Στεπίσκι κορυφή. Αφού είναι αργή. Ο ένας είναι αργός και ο άλλος είναι η δουλειά του να βγάλει πάσες δεκαρκού. Απλό, χτες που έμπηκε ο Γιώβιτς ο Κακουλής, μέσα τι διαφορά. Ένας δεκάρι και ο επιθετικός γλύωρος.
Ήταν να σας ρωτήσω, in my head, the only positive in terms of who's improved under this manager, I can think of one, and I don't know who's watching, if they want to put in the comments who they think he's improved, but I think it's Simic. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. Because I've seen a difference in Simic this season compared to last season, but then again, it's like what you said, Pedro, before. You know, he's and he was trying to get used to that, but this season he's had this guy, and I see a difference. That's the one positive I can take out from one of these players. I don't know if you guys agree or you disagree.
No.
Yeah, whoever's going first.
Δεν ήταν ο ίδιος, ρε φίλας. Δεν ήταν ο ίδιος ο Σίμιτς. Ήταν πολύ πιο διαφορετικός. Μπορεί το σύστημα να τον ευκολύνει και ο ίδιος μπορεί να έχει επίθεση πολλά πράγματα. Εντάξει, και άλλους. Το Αλιούμ είναι πολλά καλός. Εγώ χωρώ improvements και από τον Αλιούμ ακόμα. Που τα περσί ήταν ο ίδιος ο Αλιούμ που την αρχή της περσινής έως το τέλος. Ως το τέλος χωρούν improvements στο Αλιούμ. ποιος τώρα που ήρθε ακόμα έκαμε improve, βάλει τέρματα, κάνει impact. Δηλαδή κάτι χωρίς που τον Αλιούμ και τον ίδιο.
Στέφανε, ο Αλιούμ άρκεψε δύο παιχνίδια βασικός. Άρη και Πάφ. Με Αραϊπού.
Ναι, ήταν και με Αραϊπού. Και ο Αλιφκιόν γκολ.
Ξεκίνησε 3 παιχνίδια βασικός. Εγώ να μπω συγκεκριμένα την Άρη με τον Άρη και την Πάφ. Που όταν τα μπακ τους είναι πιο δυνατοί που τον Αλιούμ και πιο γλίωροι, τέλειωσε ο Αλιούμ. Ούτε με τον Άρη εφανική, ούτε έχτες με τον Απόλλωνα, με τον Απόλλωνα έχτες, ούτε έχτες εφανική. Γιατί ο αντίπαλος του ήταν πιο δυνατός, πιο γλίωρος, τελειωμένος. That's it. Ας το είναι Αραϊπού που
ήταν δυστή.
Άλλον επίπεδο.
Ναι.
Έπαιξε
και παιχνίδια.
Άρη Απόλλωνα είναι φανική. Έτσι. Δηλαδή, εντάξει, και θέλεις σε κάποιους παίχτες της μικρές ομάδες να σου κάνουν και το κλικ παραπάνω. Σίγουρα θέλουμε το. Αλλά όπως είπα, με τις δύο ομάδες Άρη και Απόλλωνα, ο Αλιούμ δεν υπήρχε γιατί ο αντίπαλος ήταν πιο δυνατός πουλό του. Ή πιο γλίωρος, όπως θέλεις πάρτε. Και δεν τα βγάλε πέρα.
Εντάξει, είναι σε μετά. Τις διαφορετικές δυνατότητες.
Any player that's improved under this guy, or not?
Πρέπει να το ζούμε όλους.
Well, look, I agree with you that Simic has improved for sure. Although I think his improvement was kind of, I think it was going to happen because a lot of players need time, to get used to their whatever. And look, last season I think he scored 4 goals in the league all season. And the ironic thing about Simic, his best games last season were in games that he either scored or he assisted. He scored twice against Aswell, right? And both the goals that he scored against Aswell were late runs in the box. And the irony is, he's actually played better this season when he's played in a position where he's expected to make those late runs in the box or kind of run in between the central defender and the fullback. To get over the top. Like the chance that he missed yesterday where, all right, we should have given the ball back to him, but the ball was played over the top. He ran onto it, and that's what he does best. So clearly the coach has seen that's his strength. But should I applaud the coach for playing to a player's strength? No.
That's his job.
Because you're not going to play him right back, are you?
No. Έπαιζε μια φάση right back πέρσι. Έπαιζε right back πέρσι.
I know Zaha played right back once. I think it was under Sofronia. But so in terms of who's improved, well, Irakovic has improved because we didn't see him last season. You know, Alioum, we saw what Alioum was about back in the last season. So are we surprised? Koulibaly, we knew. Pana, we knew.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. There's one play that improved that you didn't mention.
Huh?
There's one play that improved that you didn't mention.
Good.
Usu.
He's improved.
I'm joking.
Shameless.
Look, I don't know.
Ας δω καλή ερώτηση εγώ. Που τις μεταγραφές τις φετινές, ποιες είναι οι εκείνες που σε κάνουν surprise ή κάνουν σε... όχι surprise, τα κάνουν σου εντύπωση. Ας πούμε.
Marriage.
Marriage,
for sure.
Yeah.
Marriage for sure.
Now the players are okay, they're good players, but Marriage exhorted.
Yeah, of course.
So really, this coach is negative.
It's different.
Negative.
I'm surprised we signed him during the time we signed him.
And Masur, as I can say, El Masuras, I can say. Not that much like Marit El Masuras. I like him. He's a fighter.
Yeah.
Get in there. Rescue do.
Boys, give me 2 seconds, yeah? Give me 2 seconds.
No worries.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
For
Where we
me,
go
guys,
from here?
I've said it many times. For me, it's the way you play. Είμαστε ομάδα που θέλει να κάτσουμε πίσω και μας καίνει. Εμείς πρέπει να είμαστε ομάδα να πιέζουμε συνέχεια μπροστά. Το να μου λαλούν οι άλλοι δεν το κάνουμε τούτο, δεν αντέχουν οι παίκτες μαλακίες. Έχεις 5 αλλαγές. Ο Απόλλωνας επίεζε μας όλη μέρα χτες. Και μπορούσαν να με έχουν με μπαταρίες που δουλεύουν.
Είπα το εχθές, I don't know if you saw εχθές είπα στο No Choftes ρε Πέτρο, αλλά αν φαντάστου αν πιάσαμε το penalty, I don't think we would have won that game. I honestly don't think we would have won it.
Μπορεί.
Με την εικόνα που είδαμε το πρώτο ημίχρονο, με την εικόνα που είδαμε το πρώτο ημίχρονο, και πιάσαμε το penalty και πολλά γλύωρα. Και φανήκαμε τυχεροί γιατί πιάσαμε το γλύωρα. Εν έχουμε υπομονή ως ομάδα. Εμείς πρέπει να σκοράρουμε γλύωρα. Παναγιά μου, να τελειώνουμε γιατί αγχωνόμαστε. Πάμε το 2-1 στο 90. Στο 90 ρε, κάνουμε μας το 2-1 και εγώ μου Παναγιά μου να μας το γυρίσουν.
Ρε, όρφο μου να σε βαρίσουν. Ρε, να λίγα, αφού κάνουμε ένα λάθη ρε. Αφού έκαμε ένα λάθη ρε. Επάγαμε το ίδιο με νιάρα, που ρε. Έκαμε μαλακίες, περπατούσαμε, ξέρω εγώ, αένταμε τους. Έκαναν ό,τι έλα ρε. Πιέζαμε μας συνέχεια. Έκαναν σέντρα, ευκαιρναν μπροστά. Δεν μπορούσαν να γιώξουμε. Επίαν 800 κόντρες και πήγε μέσα η μαπά. Εν τέλος δεν ξέρω γιατί δεν πήγε μέσα η μαπά. Αφανταστείς. Και άλλο έκαμε. Και άλλο ρε κουμπάρ. 2-0, κρατάτε το 2-0 και το κάνετε ντέρπι, ναι, αλλά κάνουμε το τόσο άνετο σκορτάχα ότι ήταν 2-0, ναι, πίεζαν, αλλά είχαν κλασσικές ευκαιρίες να πεις, Παναγιά μου, κράτα το τζαμέρο κουμπάρε.
Εν έχουμε το passing game, εν έχουμε το movement, εν το έχει η ομάδα του. Είπα σου, εγώ βλέπω παραδείγματα της άλλες ομάδες. Εγώ έβλεπα εχθές τον Άρη και τον Αποέλ με την Πάφο. Όταν πίεζε η Πάφο στα Αποέλ, δεν μπορούσε να του κάνει μαπά, γιατί κάνουν pass, move. Όταν τους κλείαν, έρχονταν και άλλοι παίχτες κάτω, έρχονταν το winger, έρχονταν ο επιθετικός, έρχονταν οι κόφτες, είχαν επιλογές να πασάρουν. Και το αντίθετο, όταν το Αποέλ πίεζε την Πάφο, είχαν πάντα επιλογές να δώσουν μια μπάσα. Πάντα. Ποτσίνας, είχαν επιλογές. Εμάς όταν μας πιέζουν δεν έχουμε επιλογές. Γιατί εμάς παίζουμε συνέχεια man to man. Συνέχεια πάει ο ένας παίχτης να ζητήσει, βουρά ένας πίσω του. Πάει ο άλλος, βουρά άλλος πίσω του. Εμείς δεν τα αφήνουμε τους, να κάνουν κάτι μεταξύ τους. Δεν τους πιέζει κανένας. Σε μια φάση χθες ο Στεπίσκι, οι 4 στόπερ, και ένας ήρθε ο κόφτης, επέζα πάση μεταξύ τους και έλεψε ο Στεπίσκι. Βούρα τον ένα, βούρα τον άλλο. Ελάτε όλοι μπροστά ρε, βοηθάτε τον. Μα ποιον είναι να φτάσει ρε, ποιον είναι να πιέσει ρε. Και βλέπεις το δεκάρι σου και οι κόφτες σου, και αμέ, ο μπρος μου στόπερ, και αμέ, κάμουν φιλίες. Με βούραν ο πελάς μόνος του, βούραν τους ούτους. Δεν είναι έτσι ρε φίλε. Εγώ επιμένω είναι πάντα ο τρόπος που παίζουμε. Πρέπει να παίζουμε συνέχεια ψηλά, full gear. Και μου λέει γίνεται 90 minutes, γίνεται. Ο Απόλλωνας έπαιζε μας 90 λεπτά χτες. 90 λεπτά, άσχετον έδερα. Έπαιζε μας συνέχεια 90 λεπτά. Έχεις 5 αλλαγές. Μπορείς να αλλάξεις 5 παίχτες, μπορεί να το κάνεις. Αν δεν είναι 90 λεπτά, πρέπει να κάνεις 80. Μπορείς. Είναι 3 αλλαγές πλέον που μπορεί να μην το καταφέρεις. 5 αλλαγές μπορείς να κάνεις το high pressure, 80 minutes for sure. For sure. Εμείς καθόμαστε πίσω και περιμένουμε. Ένα εμπάθουμε. Πάλι. Με τον τρόπο που παίζουμε.
I know we go back to it, but I know the European games, there's not much to say about it because Sometimes I think
give a fuck about the European games. I don't care.
Like I get the teams were not probably even that good, but you're talking about the high press. Sorry?
That's the only reason, because other teams were not good. That's why. Only that.
But Petro, like sometimes I get it to a certain extent. Allow Buzibus, the high press to keep going. It felt like they had urgency for Bezos into this or others. I get it. Sometimes Alice or others are better than you, but you can still try and play your own game. So I don't know why. Ever since the ethnic go game, I remember saying to Stefano, Gatti actually does about one of these. Like any say the Bathima, he's scared of change. I don't know what it is. He's scared.
He's scared and υποτίμησε το πρωτάθλημα. Όχι μόνο τούτο, και δεν έχει και πολλή ιδέα.
Right, do you remember yesterday, whenever we were getting goal kicks, we weren't playing them short. He was telling Fabi to kick the ball long because he's finally realized that they cannot play from the back because the pressing will kill us.
Koulibaly, he can play passes, but the problem is he doesn't have options to pass somewhere. And έχουν επιλογές. Ξέρει να πασάρει ο Koulibaly.
Ρε, αφού θέλουν να πασάρουν, ο ένας είναι εκεί, ο άλλος είναι μποά, ο άλλος είναι μες στο κέντρο. Αφού είναι κανένα δίπλα του, ρε. Και ύστερα έρχονται τρεις παίχτες και πιέζουν τον. Και διαδείγμα πάντια, Koulibaly, έκαμε παλαγή, Koulibaly, όπως τους. Αφού είναι πού ρε, πού πάτε ρε. Αφού θέλουν να παίξουν play out the back, και ο άλλος είναι extreme. Ο Χαμάς είναι extreme. Ο άλλος είναι CM. Βοηθάτε ρε. Δηλαδή είναι απλό πράγμα. Θέλετε back. Δώστη, ξέρω εγώ, recycle it. Δώστη στο κέντρο, το ίδιο. Ξέρω εγώ, πάμε μπροστά, βάλουμε τέρμα. Αλλά δημιουργήσουμε καμιά ευκαιρία. Όχι κουτουρού. Ο κουτουρού δεν θα δουλέψει. Και να τρώει και τέρματα με το κουτουρού, άμα δεν προσέχει.
Φίλε, είπαμε τότε με το παιχνίδι με την Ομόνια Ραδίπου. Ομόνια Ραδίπου, Ομόνια 29ης και Ένωση. 3 ομάδες που να παίζουν δεύτερη κατηγορία φάνε 5 γκολ. Τίποτα άλλο δεν έχω να πω. 5 γκολ από ομάδες που να παίζουν δεύτερη κατηγορία. Πόσο μακριά να πάει. Εγώ την καλύτερη περίπτωση τέταρτη. Την καλύτερη. Όσα με.
Hang on a minute. Därför har vi en clean sheet i den AEK. Kan jag den?
Inte så tittarna med aktiv.
That's a great question.
I think Pedro said, the other Pedro said 10 games ago.
No, 10 games ago.
I don't know if he said it like, 10 games like it couldn't be bothered. But I don't know if that's true.
AEK.
That's the only one I remember.
Καλά πουλάρι.
AEK.
Δε. Θα κάνω confirm.
Yeah, it was AEK on the 16th of September. After that, we lost 1-0 to Anorthosi. We beat Isle 3-1. Lost 2-0 at Ari. Lost 1-0 Paralimni. Beat Karmodesa 6-2. Drew with Omonoia Gosigna. Beat Omonoia Radipo. And obviously Apollona. And that's not including European games. You talk about European games, and obviously you've got Hearts and Ghent. Vikingo, we kept the clean sheet in October. But league games, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games, 8 league games.
So those 2 games that we had clean sheet, Ethnigo and AEK, we were fucking lucky. We were lucky.
We've been conceded against AEK and Ethnigos. We conceded both.
Yeah, Ethnigo went over the line for sure.
Yeah, and the AEK one was offside.
I'm trying to think. Look, I remember the other bet brought probably a year and a half now, probably longer. it was during, I think, just before Yannick Ferreira came, and he was absolutely fuming about the transfer to Omonoia because he said, I don't understand what this club wants to achieve. Is it all about money to get into Europe and sell your best players from the youth system or whatever? And the other thing he said, but they keep saying it's about winning titles, winning trophies. I get a club's not going to just come out and say, yeah, we're just in it for the money. It's not going to happen. But the way the club is functioning, you do have to question what do they want to do? Because at the moment, I don't see a plan to win the league or do anything in Europe, for a matter of fact.
Win the league? You want to compare for the league?
But that's what I'm saying, Pedro.
No, I mean, the end. Well, just to say that I played devil's advocate. We're playing against Legia, and he maybe wanted to have players rested. Eras Meroka. If I see the same shit on Thursday, so he's done.
Tough, he's done. Yeah.
Tough. I see his point. But again, still like, ο Χάμπος ρε κουμπάρε, είπαμε έχει τόσα παιχνίκια που παίζεις, ξέρω είναι κουρασμένος, έχεις τόσες επιλογές να βάλεις σε τη θέση, πάρ' το. Οκ, αντέβαλε τον Στεπίσκι. Whatever, επειδή σε καλή φόρμα, I don't know, επειδή έβαλε και hat-trick, μπορεί να σκέφτηκε έτσι.
Στεπίσκι, πας στη γραμμή ρε κούντα τα μέσα ρε, δεν έκαμε και τίποτε.
Ναι, ξέρω, αλλά θέμα αυτό που θέση. Το κάκο, ας πούμε, παίζει... Έπαιξε με την εθνική, ήταν καλός με την εθνική, έτσι εκείνος είχε την εθνική ακόμα. Άρα, άντε να έχουμε, πες τώρα βάλει την ίδια με δεκάδα πάλι, με την Λέγκια, που είναι περίπου την ίδια, φύγε πριν ξεκινήσει ο παιχνί.
Τον πάρω εγώ ερώτημα, είναι μακριά, τον πάρω εγώ.
To be fair, the devil's advocate thing is a good point because don't get me wrong, the whole coaching thing, I get it. It all stems from the top, like the manager. But at the same time, guys, we say that Koulibaly's good, Haalander's good, Banayoto's good, all these defenders, Fabian as well. But they haven't kept a clean sheet in so many games. Is that really on the coach?
100%.
Nah, they have to take responsibility too.
Γιατί όταν μια ομάδα σε πιέζει συνέχεια, όταν μια ομάδα είναι συνέχεια μέσα στην περιοχή σου, εχθές προδεικτρόμουν τον Απόλλωνα, και δεν μπορείς να ηθιώξεις οργανωμένα, ματσουγιάτζο που πάει, δεν μπορείς να μαρκάρεις τον παίχτη που έρχεται, εν οδηγίες. Ή οι παίχτες είναι τόσο παλαβοί και δεν ξέρουν μαπά, για να προπονητής.
Could be both together. Ο προπονητής δύο και οι παίχτες δύο.
Πώς γίνεται να κατεβαίνει η ομάδα ούλη, γιατί είπα σου το παράδειγμα πριν, ήταν ο Στεπίσκι ένας, εβούραν 5, και όταν ερκούνταν κάτω, οι παίχτες του Απόλλωνα, οι 5 ήταν πίσω ακόμα, αλλά δεν ήταν οι 5, ήταν οι 3. Οι 3 ήταν πίσω, οι άλλοι κατεβήκαν μπρος και ήταν ξεμαρκάρει στη συνέχεια. They were unmarked all the time. Και είχαν και 3 αμυντικούς πίσω που περιμέναν. Just in case. Και εμείς ήμασταν 10 άτομα μπροστά από τον Φαμπιάνο και ήταν ξεμαρκάριστοι. Ποιος μου φταίει? Είναι ο προπονητής. Γιατί αν σε πιέζουν συνέχεια, έρθει μια φάση που να κάνεις το λάθος. Αφού δεν πιέζεις εσύ σωστά, δεν ευκαινείς μπρος σωστά, δεν ξεμαρκάρισαι σωστά, να κάνεις το λάθος. Πόση ώρα? Ο Χάμπο έχασε και την ευκαιρία. Μα στο 40 που το έχασε, 42 νομίζω. Όσο 42, πόσα χιλιόμετρα έκαψε ο Χάμπος? Πόσα χιλιόμετρα? Και με κουράστηκε. Όπως είπε η Στέλ, τι γύρευκε ρε δεξιμπακ ο Χάμπος? Πώς θες τα πόδια? Εφού μαρκάρουν σωστά, δεν ξέρουν να μαρκάρουν σωστά. Ποιος που κάνει την ομάδα, εγώ?
Yeah. No, καταλαβαίνω. Πες τώρα, κάνουμε άλλο προπονητή. And it's the same again. How many managers have these defenders had? Εντάξει, ξέρεις το Μασούρα έγκυρο τον Κίτσο, but come on, like, έγκυρο Helander. So, I don't know, like, I'm not trying to defend him, I'm just trying to think logically. What? Like, πόσον καιρό να φύγουμε τους παίχτες in this club, and it's always the coach's fault? There's got to be something wrong there as well. I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but anyway.
Φίλε, τα ατομικά λάθη, δηλαδή, όπως ήταν η φάση του Στεπίσκη με την Γκέντ, που το χάσε χωρίς πορτάρι. Δεν φταίξε κανένας με τον Ταμπράουσκας. Τι είπε κανένας τον Ταμπράουσκας που ο Στεπίσκης έχασε την... Άλλο το ατομικό και άλλο το ομαδικό. Το ατομικό, εντάξει, σίγουρα να γίνουν λάθη, έτσι είναι το ποδοσφαίρο, να γίνουν λάθη. Αλλά στο ομαδικό είμαστε χαλιά μαύρα. Και ο Κουλιμπαλί έκαμε να θυμάστε την τρίπλα, την περιβόητη που είχαμε Καρμιώτησα. Έκαμε ατομικό λάθος. Και ο Φαμπιάνο έκαμε λάθος με το εθνικό που δέρναμε 2-0 με 10 παίχτες και όχι στο κέντρο και φάμε το. Εντάξει, και ο Ρονάλντο. It happens. Αλλά this is general. Γενικό. They don't know how to match άλλον να φέρεις. Εντάξει, you never know. Maybe it's going to be better, maybe it's going to be worse. Αλλά φέρουν χειρότερο, it's not the player's fault again. Και που τον εφέρασε.
What do you think, Stel?
I think it will be gone after Apollona.
Really? You actually giving him these 2 games?
I think we're going to get absolutely slapped on Thursday, because this is a Legia team that they haven't lost in Europe this season. For a start, they scored 3 times yesterday. I was watching their highlights earlier, and defensively they're not great, but going forward they're quick, they're tricky, they love getting the ball in the box. They got men in the box. They crowd the box with 3 or 4 players. Believe what? In Father Christmas. More chance of getting fucking Father Christmas coming than my fucking chimney this Christmas and this manager. Last thing I tell you. So we're gonna get slapped up on Thursday. We're gonna go to Buffalo and we're gonna get slapped up, and then just like clockwork, because it's a time machine. We go back in time. It's Groundhog Day. We play that.
Do you honestly think they'll give him these 2 games before we play Apoel? If we get smashed by Legia and Buffalo, I can't see him lasting. I think he will go.
Even if they give him those 2 games, you can bet your ass that Apoel will be his last one. If he gets 4 points out of the next 2 games, the point against Legia and 3 against Buffalo, or the other way round, that's his stay of execution. That's his stay of execution. But he's having his last meal against Apoel. I'm telling you. You might want to make something for him. You're a chef, bro. Give him a call and say, what do you want to have? What's your last meal, bro? You can get a Lithuanian cookbook out and learn how to make the best delicacy and give it to him.
Like that's penalty. When you ask them what you want to eat before you die.
I'm telling you, give him Trahana. Listen, he'll run a mile. You want to give him Trahana before the Legia game. He'll leave before that. He'll be like, fuck this. I'm telling you, if the results are bad in the next 2 games, which Legia we're gonna get slapped. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a slapping. And Buffalo, all right, we might nick a point, might do, but the final meal is them lot. And it's always the case, isn't it? It's always the case.
It's always up.
Berg, final meal. Sofroni, all right. Okay, it was Ari, but we knew the nail was in the coffin against them lot. Yannick, like his 3rd or 4th game, final meal, like.
It depends. Αν χάσει, αλλά η ομάδα θα είναι καλή, they're going to give him time. Because if you play good and you lose, it's going to be different. But if you lose χωρίς να πείσεις, that's for sure. Now, if you play 3 games, Legia, Apoel, and Buffalo, αλλά έφερες πιστικά, that's a different story. But I don't think so, but I'm just saying. Hey,
bro, who brought Dambrauskas in?
Anastasiou.
Was it?
Ναι, ρε.
You sure?
And for sure, nobody knows. For sure, nobody knows, because ο Αναστασίου ήταν υπεύθυνος να οργανώσει την ομάδα. Και για τους παίχτες και τον προπονητή.
Let me ask you something then. If it was Yanni that brought in Dambrauskas, why is it that in October 2022 they asked him if he wanted the job when Yannick left? Or when Lennon left?
And he said no.
He said no.
Dambrauskas said no. Yeah, because it was Anastasiou here. Because now he's here, that's why he came.
You think?
Είπα σου 100% I don't know. I'm not inside the Somadio to know.
What I will tell you this, what I think. I will tell you this, what I think. Yeah? He didn't do well at Offie. His stock had dropped. Because before he went to Offie, his stock was pretty high. His stock dropped at Offie. So the calls weren't coming thick and fast like they were before. So Omonoia have come in. He thought, well, they've asked me twice before to come. And I said, no, I'll try it out. So he's got nothing to lose. He's joined a club where certain signings have been made which don't look like signings that he would make. Because I don't think, did he know much about Diunku? Did he know much about Zion? Did he know much about Masura? Did he know much about Helanda?
Γιατί του έδωσε εγγραφές, ας σου πω αλήθεια, μπορεί να του Αναστασίου του έδωσε εγγραφές.
Right.
Like Diungu, for example. He was seeing the πρωτάθλημα about 6-7 games before it ended. Μπορεί να έχει μια ιδέα. Τον Μασούρα ξέρει τον που την Ελλάδα. Γιατί I believe the 90% of the μεταγραφές ήταν που τον ίδιο τον Dambrauskas. Because he was a coach of Omonoia 2 months. It was 2 months. Anyway, I can't remember, 2 months before the πρωτάθλημα finished. He knew the weaknesses and he knew what to bring. Εντάξει, for sure, μιλούσε τον Αναστασίου, that's for sure. But I think he knew the most place he knew that τι θα έφερνε στην ομάδα. I believe.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. This is my opinion. I don't think he was Yanni's choice. I think it's a similar situation to when Janssen came in and Sofroni was there. It was like, we'll give him enough rope to hang himself. I'm pretty certain they've got someone else in mind to replace him after Apollona, which I think is going to happen. And this is how it's going to be. And I called it the moment he stepped foot in that press conference. And I said it. Don't be surprised if he doesn't last till December. Like, December will be the final month. Don't be surprised. And I'm waiting for it.
But
I'm just waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it so I can find that clip and bring it up before the podcast and say, I told you so.
Don't worry. There's a guy from Portugal who's a special one in Turkey. We'll give him a call.
Ναι, έρχεται τώρα.
Hey, you should know about corruption now. He's in the crappy Turkey. Oh man.
Even if the players were not his, even that he didn't decide which player is going to come in. But let's say Anastasiou bring everyone, all the 10, 12 players, but they are good players. They're not bad players. They give him good players to make a team. They didn't bring him, I don't know, Militic and I don't know. They bring him good players. Εντάξει, άις τον Αντζίλη έξω, άις τον Ελάντερ. Εντάξει, που τις 10 μεταγραφές οι 2 είναι καλές, είναι επιτυχία πάλι. But they gave him good players to make a team. And 2 and 3 players in every position. Especially στο κέντρο και μπροστά.
I remember when Lennon got sacked. I remember on No Chofte's there, Stel, it was Roy that said this about I want Omonoia to have some kind of method behind the madness in terms of having a division of specialized labor and stuff like that. And it's like he was saying about buying a restaurant. You're going to do Chinese food, so you're going to have to get like some of the best Chinese chefs, and then you go and get Italian chefs. And this is the problem with Omonoia. Like, even now, what is everyone's job there, and what is happening? We don't know. Like, it's just every year the same thing. And with Vasquez, it's a question of when now. I do honestly believe that.
The concerning thing for me is the two teams that are at the top of the table at the moment have the most stability and they're the most transparent. You know, from top to bottom, what people's role is, or what people's roles are, should I say. Yeah. You know that from a scouting perspective, they've got X amount of scouts in various regions. From a coaching perspective, they've got various coaches in different areas of the team. They have external links with other organizations. They have sporting directors with many, many connections that can help them out. They've got an ownership that know football, right? Because let's get it right. Dubov used to own Portsmouth. Yeah. So all he needed was a couple people next to him to throw money at things. And there you go. Right. So they have a structure. They have a plan. The only difference between them and us is they're a smaller club with a smaller fan base and a stadium that's falling apart.
And no pressure.
Well, the coaches have been under pressure. I don't think the club has been under pressure.
From the fans.
Of course. Of course. But see, here's the thing. If you're going to be a professional footballer, wherever you go, there's going to be pressure. Wherever you go. Okay? And it's part of the job.
Η στόχη της ομάδας ποια είναι? Γιατί αν μια ομάδα αν έχει στόχους ούτε προαθλητικό ούτε κύπελλο από να τερματίζει πέμπτη, έκτη ας πούμε, you have pressure.
No, bro, I like it. Okay, so hear this, right? Adi won the league title, yeah? And people were saying, Adi, go win another one. If you're good, go win another one. Show us how good you are. And they didn't. So the doubt came in. Now, Buffalo, they won the Gibber. All right, win the big one. Well, they're top of the league at the moment, aren't they? Yeah. But these two teams have had, Buffalo were founded when? 2014? That's the 10-year project. Ari got the guy from Belarus 4 or 5 years ago. So that's half a decade project. We've had this guy as president since 2018. We have railroaded how many fucking coaches? Lotina, Berg, Lennon, Yannick, Sofroni, Rekdal, Yanni,
and this one.
And this one. Ocho. It's like a Mexican TV channel. Ocho. Yeah? Buffalo, you could say, all right, they had Toshak, they had, what's his name? Konstantin, they had Michalenko, they had Milanic, they had, but you know what? They found this guy with a big football CV, yeah? Carcedo has got a big boy CV. Look at the clubs that he's been an assistant coach to. Paris Saint-Germain, Sevilla, Arsenal. Was it a team in Moscow, whatever, because he was with Emery. Big boy CV. Yeah? Big boy CV. So my guy knows how to deal with big personalities. And he's got a structure above him that say, right, we've got scouts in South America. We've got scouts here. We've got scouts there. We've got a few connections here where we can bring in some players. So when Jara gets injured, they've got a Brazilian centre forward that's just like him. When Valakari fucks off, it's all right. Don't worry. We'll just sign Pepe. Yeah? When Ikoko, who was one of the best players 2 years ago, he was in the team of the year. When he fucks off because they don't need him because his injury wasn't great, they find this Correa guy, the right back. When Kvida throws a wobbly and he doesn't want to play for him, it's like, fuck it. We got Goldau, they got the Dutch fella. It doesn't matter. If you want to start being a dick, we'll just replace you. Fine, cool, jiggy, no problem. Whereas us, when a player kicks off, it's oh well, just let him nadu perasi. No, you don't play for us.
Okay.
Fuck off. Fuck off. When you want to start causing trouble in the dressing room, doesn't matter how good you are, when you're punching your teammates, fuck off. Yeah? But this is the problem with this club. It's all about the sentiment. Oh, he dramatist again. Let's give him a new contract. They're doing grima. What? Oh, his knees are falling off, but he's the captain. Let's give him a chance to resurrect his career somehow. At the cost of what?
The team.
They let Alium go back to Hammarby because they said, oh, we don't really want to sign him. And then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, oh, shit, we need a winger. Let's go back and bring him back. Why didn't you do that weeks before the contract expired? His loan expired. Get on the blower terms. Let's get it sorted. No.
The excuse was, if you know Jansson doesn't represent him.
Because what they were doing again, they're passing the buck like they always do. It's never our fault. It's always someone else's fault. It's never our fault. We never do anything wrong. No. And then when you do say something about it, they release a fucking statement. Can you imagine how pathetic it is?
Do you think, guys, this is for all of you guys, this question. Νομίζετε ότι αν φέρουμε έναν αντιπρόεδρο που κατέχει το άθλημα να αλλάξουν τα πράγματα? Γιατί είχαμε πρόεδρο, αντιπρόεδρο που δεν ήξεραν που μάπα. Everybody knows that.
Εκτός που ξέρει μάπα, να είσαι chicken. Δεν θέλω μόνο να ξέρει μάπα.
You guys believe that if we're bringing a vice president that knows about football, things will change?
Yep.
That's what I can see.
Yeah. So long as this vice president doesn't get involved. If the vice president turns around and says, right, he knows football, yeah, but Jan is the guy to do the football operations, which is his job. So I'm going to focus on the business side of things, commercial, revenue, get aliba, right? But he does the football stuff. But if he needs help bringing in certain connections here and there, I mean, listen, it's no secret if you watch Omonoia TV, right, before the Ghent game, they filmed Gunter Thibaut, who's one of the biggest agents in Northern Europe, right? They used to play for us. Big boy agent in Belgium. They were in the skybox in Ghent because he's got a skybox. Yeah, a VIP box. So Andrea was there, a few of the other staff were there, and they were talking. This guy is linked with so many other agents and footballers. Yeah. It's like I said months ago, get him on board as like a consultant. You've got fucking Deshaw. Deshaw is well connected. What's going on there? You've got that Nielsen guy, the scout from Sweden that came from Panathinaikos, who famously said, I was at Panathinaikos and I did nothing. No one knows who's doing what.
My last question, and I think we should wrap it up because we've done nearly 1 hour and a half. Do you think a lot of these clubs that are succeeding, like Bath or like Ari, is because they have a lot of people from Exotica working like from outside of Cyprus, basically? They don't have many Gibrei involved, because sometimes I don't know if that's the issue as well. You know,
it is 100% the issue. It is 100% the issue. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because, and I'm just going to say this, there's a lot of agents, Cypriot agents, who are very quick to be intermediaries. You know, they're happy to take photographs with this. Oh, we're proud to have collaborated with this agency to bring in this player. But it's all about the money. And it's all about the clout. Yeah? You have someone like Adi, for example, who I could tell you that they've got Kevin Kuranyi somewhere in the background. That's a big boy name at fucking Stuttgart helping out in some way. It might be small. Then you got what's his name? The sporting director, I forgot his name. Joel Damahu, right? With his African scouting network. Yeah. Look at Adi. They're signing 2 players already in January. One of them is a Finland under-21 international. One of them is from Gabon. He's a striker in Belarus that's banging in goals. Yeah. They need a striker. Fuck it. If we get Kvilitaia, we'll get Gogorin, we'll get Savo. They got Montnor. Yeah. Gomis, all right, Gomis was already there. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you know, if Morgan Brown ain't playing, they got Nikolic. They signed that lad from Norway. Like these players, they find out like Musunda's going to leave in January. They'll probably get a couple million for him, that centre back. They've got the Polish centre back they signed. Where are they finding these players?
Scouting.
Where are they finding them? What? Scouting. Exactly. Alaim is, it's the same fucking agents that are involved in the deals. The same fucking people. The same ones.
Do you think, still, that the vice president who's going to come must have his connections everywhere?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, we want a coach. I will find it. We want players. I will find them.
But it's not the vice president's job to find these players, though. Yeah, it's the sporting directors.
Yeah, but does Anastasio have his connections to do that?
Yeah.
I think he does,
Yeah. I thought Yanni the other week was in Amsterdam for this for the Ajax celebration of the 125 years, something like that. And he was there with Van Gaal because he used to play for Ajax.
Yeah.
You know, he was photographed in the stadium, like, you know, and you watch the game, like the players that were there. You're talking about Van der Vaart. You're talking about all these other players, McManaman. Of course, he knows people, bro. Of course, he knows people. Of course, 100%. 100%.
For what we want the vice president to have connections? For what?
For business opportunities. I mean, and I'll go back and I keep repeating this about Buffon, right? Their sporting director, I forget, he's an Italian guy. He used to be at Udinese, he used to be at Watford. Yeah?
Yeah.
As you know, Buffon now have got agreements with Sevilla and Watford to send players there or coaches and vice versa because they're trying to improve their brand, improve everything, right? Why is Omonoia one of, if not the biggest club in Cyprus with a bigger name than Buffon? Why have they not been doing something like this? Why? And I'm using my experience from what I've seen Paradima in England. Tom, you know this. You've got Omonoia Youth, right? It's a youth academy in London. They've got teams right the way from under 21 to under 7s, whatever. They've got about 20-odd teams, yeah? They're only called Omonoia Youth because the person that founded them was an Omonoia fan or whatever. There's no connection with Omonoia. But there's a load of British Cypriots that are playing for these Omonoia teams, right? Instead of turning around and saying to these guys, right, get your fucking passport, get your diavaderio, and if you're serious about playing football, come to our academy, right? And we'll develop you. And you know what? Maybe you might find 3 or 4 players who are good enough that are ready. Because you can bet your backside there's been at least 4 or 5 players that have played at Omonoia Youth that are either in Premier League academies or they play for Premier League clubs. There's 2 of them. One of them is at West Ham now. One of them's at Arsenal. So if they're good enough for those 2 teams, well, they're not good enough for Omonoia. Is it because, we're worried about damaging the youth development in Cyprus? Well, sorry, the president of Cyprus is already doing that with his idea that if you're in the Strado, you can't play for your clubs.
Mm.
So don't think that it's like the Aswell is going to be the problem. No, branch out. They go to Ghent. They go to all these different nations that Cyprus have played, that Omonoia have played in. They can't make connections and collaborate with these clubs out there. They can't. They played Man United, big Man United. They couldn't turn around and say to them, okay, well, let's see if we can come to an agreement. Maybe we can loan some of your youngsters, 1 or 2 youngsters. Why not? We're at the same dinner table. We're at the same dinner table. Why don't we just have that conversation? Or we're just too small for them? Well, because fucking what's that? Antwerp were too small for United years ago when they had that collaboration with them.
No, look at them now.
It's all about having balls, man. It's all about having balls, and they don't have the balls to do it. But I forgot the balls to do it.
It's very important. The vice president must have knowledge about everything about football. Must have big connections with other clubs.
No, because all they're focused on, right, is taking their little photographs, yeah, and then putting it on social media. But they don't have a big club mentality. They haven't got a big club mentality. I'm sorry.
No, we don't have mentality. We need
big
mentality.
Man thing. They don't have a big club mentality.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Since Papa Stavro came, when was the last time you can say they've done right things? Και έκαναν σωστά σε όλα. Προπονητή, και ξέρω εγώ, και προγραμματισμό.
I genuinely felt at the beginning of the season they were getting it right. I felt finally we have a guy that knows football that is in a high position. Grigori was focusing on the commercial side of things, so he wasn't getting involved in nothing. A new head coach with new ideas, fresh ideas, a new scout. Yeah, as I mentioned, the Swedish guy. They'll get in the social media right. Yeah, these little things, the 1%, they all count. They got the Omonoia TV channel. Brilliant. I thought, you know what? We're turning a corner here. And even the first few weeks of that TV channel, they were doing a lot of content. It was great stuff to watch. And I said, when is it going to stop, though? Is it when the results ain't going to be good? And lo and behold, the moment we started losing games, they stopped all of the content. Yeah, they've been doing these videos here and there, just little things, you know, whatever. But nothing there for me to say, it's well worth the €3 or €4 you're going to spend every month on this channel. And I'm interested to know, and I know you want to cut it short there, Tom, right? I'm interested to know how many of these season ticket holders, the 11,000 season ticket holders that were given Omonoia TV for free for 4 months, how many of them, A, were able to take it on because you need to be with Sida to take it, and B, have decided to pay their money to watch that channel since?
Oh, my dad is one of them.
Less than 50%. Probably less than 25.
Bro, it's 11,000 season ticket holders.
Could be 3 of them.
And that's the other thing. Sorry to drag on a bit, but
no.
It's the posturing that winds me up most. You can sit there and say, we've got 11,000 season ticket holders. We've broken records. Okay, well, how many of those 11,000 are actually regretting renewing or buying those season tickets? How many of those 11,000 are regretting it now, given what they've seen?
Keep on.
Yeah, where was the 11,000 the other day?
No,
I'm still seeing white seats.
Yeah.
Still seeing white seats. You know? And you know, and again, it's rinse and repeat with this club because they're very smart. It's like what I said about the media machine. Yeah, when there's a little bit of murmurco, let's just throw something in there to cheer them up a bit. You know, new stadium. Well, we still haven't heard anything about this new stadium. Still haven't heard. We saw the video that, you know, we saw the Igobeda, we saw that kind of stuff. Yeah, we've got X amount of scales and blah blah blah. Well, what's happened? And people say, well, yeah, he's got things signed off now. Well, where's the announcement? Where are the stadium plans? Because if you're planning to build a stadium, then surely you've got a blueprint somewhere. Where are they? Are they grifa? Are they saving them for another severe rainy day when the murmurco increases? And then they're just like, here you go. These are the plans now. Pacify them. That's what they do.
Always they do that.
And they pick their battles at precisely the right time. Precisely the right time, because Baba Stavro threw that Sponda, whatever you guys think about it, I just think it was convenient, the timing of it, but he done it, yeah. And people saying, yes, back him. He said the right thing. Finally, he's come up to say something and this and that. Well, it's gone quiet since, hasn't it? Why? Because no one is backing him. No one in Cyprus is backing him. Right. And then it's like, oh well, we want Grigori as vice president. Well, sorry, mate. You need to go through elections, and we know what happens in Cyprus when it comes to elections, don't we? Not exactly straight down the line. So what are you trying to achieve? I don't know. I really don't know. But again, guarantee you something's going to happen in the next few days. That we might get a bad result against Legia. We might get a bad result against Buffalo, but something's going to happen. They're going to pacify you again. They're going to pacify you. Christmas is coming. You know, they might have a super deal at Green Boutique. They might give you an extra 5% off with your privilege card. You never know.
On Black Friday,
Black Friday. The timing is just immaculate. But careful. I need to be careful what I say. I need to take back everything that I said just in case they decide to release another statement. Because that's another thing. They pick their battles, yeah. They pick their battles very, very well. It's like, you can't say anything about us. We firmly disagree with all these things that you said. We're not happy about it. We're not like that. We don't think that that third place is like winning a trophy. When the president said, you know, one of our achievements was to get into Europe, and we did. So what are you telling me? So again, when you're trying to fight the establishment, you ain't going to win, because they're going to try and find a way to shut you up and make you look like the bad person. And that's just how it is.
Έχουν γράφουν τους καλύτερους λόγους, έχουν την πιο μεγάλη δύναμη, σχέμισε και...
Stefano, for over a year, they were talking about Andrew Tate, yeah? How he was a bad person. Yeah, how he was doing this, how he was doing that. What happened the other week? The Romanian jury, or what's it called, the justice system, threw it out because there was nothing. But did the BBC report it? Who reported it? No one. No one. Because it doesn't fit the narrative. And this is exactly what I'm saying about the media machine. Not just at Omonoia, but other clubs as well. When there's a narrative that you're trying to, you know, continue with, and you've got momentum with it, and people buying that narrative, they're the ones that feel stupid afterwards because they've believed it. But because I'm the one that goes against the grain, not to be edgy or controversial, because I want people to see it, I get pulled up on it. What are you trying to achieve? No, I want people to realize that they're not fucking sheep.
Yeah, most of the people are.
But that's the thing. You want to hold them to account, and like, I never forget. I'm not. I don't always watch press conferences about even Arsenal, but there was one question I remember a few years ago when all this trouble happened with the Aubameyang, and one of the press conference questions was, "Would you go out with Aubameyang for a coffee?" And I was like, "What is this got to do with anything? Like, what the fuck is this?" And this is the point. Like, when you're a sports journalist, I do get it. You want access and stuff, but you look stupid when you ask the wrong questions. And it's like, I wish some stuff would go.
Access is currency.
That's what it is.
Do you know what I mean by that? Access is currency. If you have access to players, whether it be for interviews or doing content with them, you make money due to ad revenue, clicks, etc., etc. Yeah. If you don't have the access to these people, your numbers stagnate or they stay the same. Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys. I've never been bothered. I used to be bothered about numbers and views. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a shit. I don't, because if you're worried about numbers and views, you're going to become so immersed in it that anything that you do, you're always having to level up and beat that and beat that and beat that. It's too time consuming. Yeah, it's too mentally draining. So what you do, you focus on yourself, you say what you need to say, right? Because more often than not, if you're genuine and sincere about everything and 100% honest, chances are your numbers are going to go up, because people are going to want to hear you say those things, not sit behind a camera with a fucking teleprompter in front of you saying, I need to say this because it is really important for me to stay and follow the narrative, because if I don't follow the narrative, then...
AI. It must be AI. Must be anthropic. We have emotions.
I'm going to end it with this, because I've been talking for too long. Yeah, I've been talking for like 7 minutes straight. Yeah. I will say this, like I always say on Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil, on every podcast I say, facts don't care about feelings.
And let's end it there. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Petros, Dejo, and Stefano. We appreciate it. And if you're new, like, subscribe, and share it across all your social media platforms. We'll be back obviously on Thursday after the game against Leia Warsaw for our match review.
Why?
Well, you always have to turn up.
I'm asking myself that question.
You're gonna do as well. Don't lie to me. You're gonna do a match review after, or maybe you're gonna put
I will. I'll do it with duct tape around my mouth.
Fiatore.
Listen, we'll be back on Thursday. Yeah, and thank you very much. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye bye. Bye bye.